University is an exciting and challenging experience. You're studying things that interest you and working towards your goals, maybe changing your living arrangements, meeting new people, and finding out more about yourself. It can also be a stressful time for many students. It's challenging to balance your academic and university commitments with your personal life. Up to 83% of university students report experiencing significant stress and difficulties in coping. There are, however, a number of very useful things that will help build resilience and help you cope with the many demands of life. This video will introduce you to the 6 building blocks of resilience. You may already have many of the coping strengths and strategies that are covered here, but it is useful to identify these and to build on them. Resilience is a buffer against life's challenges. It doesn't prevent bad things happening, but it helps you cope, learn, and move forward in life in a positive and adaptive way. Resilience helps you deal with daily hassles, like your train running late, an argument with friends or family, or getting a bad mark on an assignment, as well as more intense experiences like natural disasters or losing a loved one. Resilience enhances your ability to cope with stressful situations or disappointments when they arise, and accept and manage your emotions. Everyone can be resilient. It's not a personality trait. It's your own personalised toolkit of strategies to face life's challenges with. It helps you successfully adapt and adjust and contributes to happiness and well-being. Being resilient means being positive, resourceful and optimistic, and this can help you achieve success in your life. Here are the 6 building blocks of resilience that help students enjoy their time at uni and be happy and successful in life. The first 3 provide a strong foundation and help buffer against stress. They are realistic expectations, balance, and connectedness. The second 3 are skills to help you better manage problems and issues when they arise. They are positive self-talk, managing stress, and taking action. Do you feel that you already have some of these skills? Are there any areas where you know you could develop yourself further? Consider your own strengths and weaknesses as we explore each of these building blocks one by one. Having realistic expectations is the first building block of resilience. While having goals and wanting to do well are important to success, having unrealistic and unachievable expectations of yourself and others sets you up for failure and disappointment. Let's take a closer look at realistic expectations. The first step to having realistic expectations is being present in each moment. That is, noticing the way things actually are, rather than what you wish they would be like. Another way in which we are not being present is when our thoughts wander off. Do you find yourself getting caught up in thinking about how things should be different for you? I should have more things. Or, if only they could have done something differently. Developing a clear set of goals can be very important for resilience. This means setting goals, from small daily tasks to long-term goals or ambitions. The ability to flexibly adapt to changes and be innovative in finding solutions to a problem is also a very useful strategy. When things don't go as planned, more resilient students are able to work through alternatives calmly and imagine possibilities that may even produce some new opportunities. This may mean altering goals based on a change in circumstances, rather than being overwhelmed or depressed by an unexpected roadblock. Perfectionism can get in the way of realistic expectations. The desire to do well can get confused with the need to be perfect. Perfectionism is high standards and expectations with negative personal judgments attached. Perfectionism sounds like, "Oh, if I fail this subject, I'm a failure as a person. If someone does better on an assignment than me, I feel as though I'm a loser." Or, "People will think less of me if I make a mistake." These negative thoughts don't reflect reality, but can have a real and destructive impact on your success. Mistakes are part of learning, and it's important to learn from them. The best way to do this is to focus on your actions and not fall into the trap of judging yourself by your performance or achievement. An example might sound like, "I'm glad I passed the assignment, but next time I want to do better. I'm going to take on board the feedback and attend all the tutorials and understand what I need to do to get a better mark next time." The next building block to help protect against the effects of stress is balance. If being a student is your entire focus, it can seem like your whole world is crumbling when you're faced with disappointment at uni or you are feeling stressed. Being involved in a range of activities gives you multiple sources of accomplishment and enjoyment. For example, work, family, hobbies, and sports. If you have a balanced lifestyle and experience a disappointment in one area, the other areas help you maintain a sense of perspective and balance. The variety is what's important. You don't have to spend equal amounts of time in each area to have balance. Balance gives you multiple sources of enjoyment, satisfaction, achievement, and accomplishment, multiple sources of support, and a sense of perspective. Balance doesn't just apply to activities, it's also lifestyle. For your mind to work at its best, your body needs adequate sleep, healthy food, exercise, and relaxation. When you're up late every night, get little sleep, have a poor diet, and don't make time to exercise or relax, you don't cope very well and don't perform at your best. Connectedness is the next part of resilience. It's important to feel included and validated by others around us in all spheres of life, be it home, work, uni, sport, clubs, social groups, whatever you choose. Being connected is the single biggest predictor of student well-being. The first and most important connection most people have is with their families. Others include friends, work, sporting groups, faith-based communities, hobbies. The options are endless. You may not have all of these people in your life, but if you notice that you don't have many at all, it might be worthwhile to think about things you can do to increase your connections with others. If it's just you in the middle, it can feel very lonely and isolated. When things aren't going so well, you don't have people to lean on, and when things are good, you don't have people to share your successes with. Many first-time uni students feel like a fish out of water and experience a sense of isolation. It can be particularly hard if you had a bad time at school or felt like you just didn't fit in. Being on a large campus can also add to feelings of loneliness. But uni can be an exciting place. There are countless stories from people who hated high school but came into their own at uni. It was the first time they were really able to just be themselves. Some people you meet at uni may become friends for life, others just for the semester, and many may just remain as acquaintances. In any case, having connections with other students helps reduce stress and can enhance your uni experience and learning outcomes. You've got people to discuss coursework with, to have a coffee with after a lecture, and unwind. It may also help you feel more confident to ask questions or engage in class discussions. It's also reassuring to know people who are sharing a similar journey to you. This is often difficult for people not at uni to understand. Communicating effectively can help you build and maintain connectedness with a wide range of people in your life. Communication can be a major source of stress when there is potential for conflict. So having some strategies for preventing and managing conflict can improve our relationships with others. The skill in managing conflict is to communicate in a way that will benefit you and not harm the dignity or diminish the self-esteem of the person you are talking with. In a conflict situation, try to keep calm no matter how the other person reacts. Often, the more aggressive somebody is, or the more somebody shouts, the more important it is to respond calmly and non-aggressively. This will avoid the problem escalating and getting worse. If it doesn't work first time, You might need to walk away, reflect on the incident, and try again later. Try to avoid making the other person defensive. Stay away from accusations or blame, even judgment. Keep your language centered on you and your feelings or thoughts. Use phrases like, I feel, I think, or I notice. It's important to negotiate and compromise to find an outcome that everyone is happy with. Things can't always go completely your way, so try to meet people halfway. Find a middle ground. Addressing problems immediately helps prevent a build-up of negative feelings. This can be hard, but remember to use I statements. Leave space for people to respond, control your emotions and reactions, and be honest and empathetic. It might take time to work through a problem, but stick at it. It's a constant fluid process, so remind yourself of the key points before, during, and after you work through an issue. The next building block of resilience is positive self-talk. Your feelings and emotions are influenced by what you say and think to yourself. When you interpret most things as being a reflection on you, you're more likely to feel depressed, angry, or anxious. We all face challenging situations from time to time, often daily. Let's look at one that most of us are familiar with: being stuck in traffic. There are lots of different reactions people have to this situation. Some get angry, frustrated. They keep looking at their watch, tapping their foot. Others are relaxed and realize the situation is outside their control, and they will get where they are going when it happens. Others on public transport may even relish the chance to get through their exciting novel. What makes these reactions different when the situation is the same? The answer lies in what we say to ourselves. That is, our thoughts. How we think about a situation affects how we feel. If our thoughts are, I'm going to be late, my boss is going to be furious, I'm going to get fired, then our emotions are going to be negative. If our thoughts are, I can't change this situation, I'll get there when I get there, the world won't end if I'm a bit late, then we are likely to feel calm and relaxed. So how we feel depends on what we think, not on the situation. Here are ways you can increase your positive self-talk. Celebrate successes, no matter how small, like doing a reading for next week's tutorial. Interpret negative feedback as a response to what you did, not who you are. And this will help you change what you decide to do next. Think about what you would say to a friend in the same situation. Use positive self-talk to get through difficult situations. Example, this is scary, but I can get through it. I'll never be able to do it if I don't give it a try. Our next building block is managing stress. When disappointing, upsetting, or stressful things happen in your life, it's important to use strategies that work for you to help you calm yourself and cope with the situation. Let's look at some things to consider when managing stress. Feelings and emotions can be overwhelming sometimes because of their intensity. Sometimes we think we may lose control or that we must be a bad person if we have negative emotions. Experiencing the full spectrum of emotions is part of the normal ups and downs of life. There can be helpful and unhelpful ways of expressing negative emotions, such as sadness, anger, or frustration. Unhelpful ways result in not feeling heard, rejection, or damaged relationships. Some things to think about. Who do you express them to? For example, if you are sad about something, it can be quite hurtful to talk to someone who in the past has not been very sensitive to people's feelings. How do you express it? Particularly with anger, how you express how you're feeling can be either very helpful or risky. Remember strategies for communicating effectively and say it in a way that isn't hurtful to the other person. Be mindful of the other person's capacity to be helpful, given everything that is going on in their own life. How often and what you share will vary from person to person and time to time. Another strategy to managing stress is to use positive coping skills. These are a set of tools to help you get through tough times, and some of these we've already covered. Things like being present in the moment, the here and now, positive self-talk, challenging unhelpful thoughts, involvement in activities that you enjoy and experience success in, your hobbies, clubs, or sport, doing things that you find relaxing. Make the time for yourself. Having a routine that works for you and sticking to it as much as possible. Having a routine gives your life structure and stability. It's grounding. Asking for help and support whenever necessary. The last building block is taking action. Some problems get worse the longer you leave them, when they might have been simply resolved if addressed earlier. All problems can be solved. Maybe not with a perfect solution, but being realistic and honest can help in finding creative solutions and moving forward. Sometimes difficult situations can be paralysing. You hope that if you do nothing, it'll just go away. Often things just get worse. We all solve problems every day. Some we don't even spend much time thinking about, like what we're going to have for dinner. But other problems can seem unsolvable. Working through the steps of problem solving is a systematic way of dealing with complex and difficult problems. First, define the problem. This can often be the most difficult part of the process. If you find it difficult to solve a particular problem, you might find it helpful to rephrase it by identifying what your goal is. What do you want to happen? Where do you want to end up? Next, generate lots of alternative solutions without judging them. Often we put off solving problems by doing nothing. It's important to include this as an option and choose it consciously rather than as a way of avoiding a problem. Sometimes doing nothing is a good option and the problem may go away. Other times it could be just a delaying tactic or denial, and the problem may become worse because it wasn't addressed. Next, evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of each option. Choose the solution that you think will work best and put a time frame on it. Sometimes there might be a number of solutions that'll work together to get the outcome you desire. Think of the things you might need to organise or get to enable you to put the solution into action. Decide when you will do it. Finally, put it into action. And then review how it went and revise if necessary. It's important you make time to review how your plan went. If it wasn't completely successful, you may be able to review it, add more options, or choose a different option to achieve your goal. By reviewing it, you're taking note of which bits worked and what didn't. These are your stepping stones or pathway to future success. Sometimes it's hard to work through the problem-solving process on your own. Some situations that are especially challenging are those that are emotionally charged, or new situations that you don't have experience dealing with. The university has a wealth of support to help students both with academic and personal challenges they may face. It can be a bit daunting to ask for help when you're not sure what to expect. It doesn't matter if the first person you approach for help isn't the person who can best help you. Hopefully, they can direct you to the right person or service for your needs. This is a list of good places to start looking for help. We've covered a lot of ground and examined resilience in detail. The key points to remember are: aim for success, not perfection. Maintain balance in your life. Find ways of staying connected in all aspects of your life. Be kind to yourself. Have some strategies to cope with stress. Take action and solve problems early. Access help whenever needed. This is a great time of your life, and these skills will help you not only get the most out of uni and achieve your goals, but also enable you to cope with the challenges and enjoy success throughout your life.